Beloved Foothills community, an important opportunity is before us. There is a movement across Unitarian Universalism to adopt an eighth principle. Later this spring, Foothills will have the opportunity to vote on adopting this principle in our congregation.
The proposed eighth principle states, we, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions.
The eighth principle invites each of us and our congregation as a whole to join with other UU congregations across the country to renew our commitment to becoming an anti-racist, multicultural, beloved community, to commit again and again to dismantle racism and other oppressions, and to hold ourselves accountable for this spiritual work.
I think we need every place we can that is an institution to try their best to be actively anti-racist. So having a church be actively anti-racist and have that be one of our principles, so it's very clearly we are anti-racist, I think that is something that is very, very, very necessary.
It will help a lot of people that don't go here feel more home without even being at our church.
Foothills Unitarian has had a long history of being involved in trying to build what we are calling today the beloved community. Back in the 1960s, when Harold Wright was minister, in the 40s, the church and the church women were highly involved in getting rid of the signs in Fort Collins community in some shops that said white trade only and no Mexicans allowed. I heard this story when I joined the church way back in 1960. Earlier on, too, the women of the church, as well as others, in order to bring about a more just society for the migrant community in Fort Collins, established a day school for the children and then dealt with housing. The church under Bob Bowman, who followed Wright, went to Mississippi to help register the voters during the civil rights movement. And so I feel as though we have come full circle from the 18th century through the years to our own time, in which we are making this statement at the conclusion of, or addition to, the 7 principles that our minister Roy Jones in the 1970 was highly involved with as a part of the committee. So I think it's entirely fitting that this congregation and other congregations come full circle, add to the 7 principles to create the 8th principle, which really have been a part of our heritage, both as Universalists and Unitarians, from the 18th century forward.
On May 23rd, the question of whether to adopt the 8th principle will be put to a vote during our congregational meeting. The Foothills 8th Principle Task Force has created a website. On March 27th, there will be an 8th Principle workshop opportunity with Paula Cole Jones. Paula is a lifelong member of All Souls Church Unitarian in Washington, D.C., a management consultant with over 20 years' experience in designing and facilitating workshops, and she is one of the authors of the 8th Principle. The task force will also host small group sessions later in the spring for those who wish to discuss the 8th Principle in a small group setting.
This year, our board has been working intentionally to grow our understanding of what it means to be an anti-racist congregation. We have been grateful for our partners in accountability and mission in this year, the BIPOC Alliance of Larimer County, as we have been acting as their fiscal sponsor. The board is excited and grateful for our congregation to be exploring and looking to adopt the 8th Principle, as it represents a key way we can communicate and demonstrate our collective commitment to racial justice. We are so grateful to the 8th Principle Task Force, to the Racial Justice and Healing Ministry team, and to all of you for engaging in this work together. Thank you.